Nice to meet you all. My name is Jed Sundwall. I'm executive director of a nonprofit called Radiant Earth. I'm actually based here in Seattle. I live in Ballard, but our team is distributed. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the way that we frame the production of data and the way that we should be thinking about it moving forward. So we're a nonprofit. Our mission is to increase shared understanding of our world by making data easier to access and use. And I'll explain a little bit about what we do in a second. So we are very lucky to live in very interesting times. So this is a history of the century so far. I can tell you I was there at the beginning of the century. I got a master's in foreign policy in 2006 and decided to turn my back on the DC life that I thought I was heading into and focus on the internet and work on the internet, because the internet was so exhilarating and exciting the first decade of the century. We thought anything was possible. We have learned that indeed anything is possible since then. And so all the exhilaration of the beginning of the century has turned into what I would say something else, where maybe the disruption has gotten to be a bit too intense. But what got me interested in the internet, and I think what got a lot of people, I think a lot of people like you would resonate with this, is the idea that the internet was going to allow us to share data much more openly with each other. And I really love Catherine's presentation because she kind of pointed out, like, yeah, there's a lot of data out there, but boy, we got some work to do to make it really useful. And so throughout the century so far, we've done a lot of work. We've spilled a lot of ink around figuring out how to share data and how to compel people to do it. And I don't think I'm going to offend that many people when I say it's not going super great all the time. It's pretty hard. It's hard for researchers that already have enough to do to figure out how to share data as well. And so my answer to this is that we need to stop talking about open data and start talking about great data. And train more people. Well, first of all, look back on the century so far and look at things like OpenStreetMap and look at things like 1,000 Genomes and AlphaFold that are truly great data products that have actually completely changed the world in meaningful ways. In some cases, like data sets like ImageNet have led to people winning Nobel Prizes. We need to learn what makes great data products. And so this lightning talk is a very short version of a longer talk that I gave recently that you can get to at this URL, radiant.earth/great. This is Elinor Ostrom. She is one of the matron saints of Radiant Earth. She won the Nobel Prize in 2009 for studying how people have managed to share access to common goods. And her research is very relevant to data sharing. But this is known as Ostrom's Law, which her idea was like, look, we know this happens in practice. People are able to manage fisheries and forests and streams effectively. We need to study how they've done it, come up with theories so we can teach other people how to do it if they haven't figured it out yet. And so that's the mentality that we take here. We have a thing that I call a live stream webinar podcast thing. It's called Great Data Products. It's at greatdataproducts.com, where we actually do this work to figure out things that work and things that are working in practice and have conversations with people who've made decisions about producing data and have been, more or less successful, and we learn from the decisions they've made. Another thing we do at Radiant Earth, we manage a thing called Source Cooperative, which is an object storage-based data publishing utility where we think of as a canvas for people to do their great work or their best work when trying to produce great data products. And so we are looking for beta testers, so you can reach out to me or come talk to me if you're interested in it. We already host 1.7 petabytes of data on Source, including the Alpha Earth embeddings outside of Google Earth Engine. In case you want to get access to those, talk to me. And then we run a thing called the Cloud Native Geospatial Forum, which is a vendor-neutral forum for people who like to think about data and formats, metadata standards. If you're the kind of person who has like a favorite compression algorithm, you will get along with the people in our forum. And you're all invited to participate in that. We actually have a conference coming up next year in October. It'll be our second conference that we've done. So I maybe have been talking too fast, but I've got 1 minute left in case people have questions. Otherwise, I can open it up for the next lightning talk. Yep, go.
So I know you're still working on this, but what would you, if you had to drill it down to like 3 or 4 principles that made a product great?
Sure. Well documented, programmatically accessible. And then, the other one is it's really hard, but like reliably accessible. You want people to be able to know that it'll be there tomorrow. If it's small enough, it's the kind of thing that people can copy. It's not a big deal, but it's really documentation and programmatic accessibility using like open file formats. So usually, if you go down the path where you're building a bespoke API, stop. Probably don't do that. So turn around. All right, you good? Thank you.